Alright boys, so if you guys have been following my channel for a while now, you guys should know that I am not a big fan of sidearms. Besides like Traveler's Chosen and Crowsthesia, I really don't use sidearms for anything really. Until I got Mykel's Reverence, which is the new strand sidearm within the Root of Nightmares raid. This thing is actually a monster, and the gameplay, you're seeing the role I got, which is rewind rounds hatchlings, and this thing absolutely slaps, especially when you build around hatchlings, which I will get that build out, I promise. I just have a couple of things going on, I got to go to work and stuff like that, but my new Threadlings build will come out. But speaking more about this gun, this thing has some banger perks. This might be right up there with one of the best raid weapons in Root of Nightmares. Now I really enjoy my role, which is again rewind rounds hatchlings, but this thing has so many juicy perks. So first I'll just list all of the perks you can get, and then I'll tell you my recommendations. So in the third column you can get Elemental Capacitor, Unrelenting, Perfect Float, Thresh, Rewind Rounds, Pugilist, and Perpetual Motion. And in the fourth column you can get Offhand Strike, Frenzy, Harmony, Tap the Trigger, Swashbuckler, Hatchling, and Paracausal Affinity. That's a new one for the raid. This weapon also comes with an origin trait, Harmonic Resonance. Equipping multiple weapons from this set grants this weapon increased reload speed and handling. It also deals increased damage versus Tormentors, Lucent Hive, and Guardians using their super. So you really want to pair this with other raid weapons, so it feels like you're using a complete set of raid weapons, and it kind of boosts the stats of said raid weapons. So like I said, this weapon has so many good perks, and honestly it has so many good perk combinations. I mean, you can go with my role, which is rewind round hatchlings. You can also go something like Thresh Frenzy, so you get the bonus super energy and you get the passive damage buff from Frenzy. I mean, you can even go Perpetual Motion Frenzy. For PvP, you can go Perpetual Motion Tap the Trigger. You can go Pugilist Swashbuckler. You can go Pugilist Hatchlings. You can even go something like Unrelenting Swashbuckler, Unrelenting Hatchlings, or Unrelenting Frenzy, so you get that health bonus when you get kills and you have the damage buff. You can even use the new perk Paracausal Affinity. Final blows of energy type matching this weapon's alignment grant increased damage for a short period of time. Light final blows boost arc, solar, and void weapons, and darkness final blows boost stasis and strand weapons. And since this is a strand weapon, I believe this damage buff is a 20% bonus to your weapon damage. So you're going to be using a strand weapon, getting a kill, get that 20% damage buff. You can also use a strand ability or a stasis ability to get that weapon damage buff. I mean, this thing has so many good perk combinations, actually really crazy. Now, I personally am gonna go for, well, I already have my rewind round hatchlings role. Maybe I'll go Thresh Frenzy or maybe Thresh Paracausal Affinity. Again, these weapons are craftable. I'm not sure if I stated that earlier, but these weapons are craftable. So if you can't get that God roll to drop, if you keep running the raid over time, you'll eventually be able to craft these weapons and you can get that perfect 5 out of 5 roll you're looking for. Now, this weapon does shoot very fast for a sidearm, which is why I would also recommend trying to boost up that stability stat as much as possible. I would even go for something like polygonal rifling, ricochet rounds, and maybe perpetual motion and frenzy, or perpetual motion hatchling, something where you can get that nice stability bump while also keeping your lethality with your perks. Unless you're just a god at controlling recoil, which I'm not, so I want that high stability stat. So there you boys have it. There is my quick little review on Mykel's Reverence. You guys need to go get this weapon. Honestly, you need to go get all the weapons from the raid because they're all bangers. Besides maybe the heavy grenade launcher, I just don't really see it having too many good damage dealing perks. Has really good ad clearing perks, but I don't really use my heavy to do ad clear, especially a heavy grenade launcher. And if I need to, I mean, 1 or 2 heavy grenade launcher shots is more than enough. So that's probably the only exception, but every single one of those weapons are so good and they're all craftable. So you need to hop into Root of Nightmares, get yourself a good weapon, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Deuces.